in the burning heart, just about to burst. There's a quest for answers and a quench of the thirst. In the darkest night, rising like a spire, in the burning heart, it must kindle the fire. In the burning heart. In the warrior's code, there's no surrender. Though his body says stop, his spirit cries never. Deep in our soul, a quiet ember knows it's you against you. It's the paradox that drives us all. It's a battle of wills in the heat of attack. It's the passion that kills. The victory is yours.
Hello everyone, this is Blugoblin. Thank you for joining me for my comic book review for the ending of March 2012. I got a lot of books to cover before I get started. First of all, I want to give a shout out to my student, TheMtVernonKid. Chris, first of all, I'm glad you loved your birthday present, man. As soon as when I saw that Mum-Ra figure, I instantly thought of you, and I'm glad you like it. Another thing I want to say is also thanks for answering my questions on your latest Q&A video. Loved it. The whole video was damn entertaining, especially your rant about Michael Bay. I also want to plug my Tumblr page. I just posted my review of the first 9 issues of Ultimate Comics, new X-Men, and go check that out while you when you get a chance. I'll put the link in the description. Now let's get on to the comic book, shall we? Jesus, speak of the devil here. Let's take a look. We're gonna start things off with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Maybe Michael Bay should be reading this shit and then realize, maybe I am doing the wrong thing. Fuck you, Michael Bay. This is issue 8 of the Ninja Turtles from IDW, and wow, I am loving this series. And to think, I of all people, who is a die-hard, hardcore Ninja Turtles fan, almost passed this series. I started late, got the back issues, and I've been loving this series ever since. Fantastic work from Kevin Eastman. The story so far is the Turtles are in a jam in the sewer combating the Mousers, who are being controlled by remote control by one of their old enemies, Old Hob, a mutant cat with an eye patch. And Donatello thinks of a way to stop the Mousers, with one single blow instead of destroying them one by one when they're being surrounded by them. And it's a pretty ingenious plan. And of course, it's no surprise that Donatello, the one with the brains, is able to think of this strategic attack. Very well done. We get an interesting conversation between Krang and Baxter Stockman. Short, sweet, simple, and right to the point, and it's very well done. As for the rest of the book, this story is taking a remarkable step forward here. The Turtles realizing that Splinter has indeed been taken, and he's been taken for specific reasons, and I'm not going to go into detail about that. I'm not going to spoil that completely. But what I will spoil is that the Turtles in this issue meet April for the first time, and it just seems so nostalgic that once again April meets the Turtles and boom, passes out. I had to at least give that away, because that right there was a nostalgic, wink and a nod to every other meeting of April and the Turtles. Just awesome. This series has been great, and loved the way this book ended. I just feel like I can't even minorly spoil this any further. It's just one of those series that I'm starting to grow a deep respect for, and all I can say is that this series just kicks ass. Jump on board. Just do it. Alright, next up, issue 73, okay. Tarot, Witch of the Black Rose, number 73. This is from Broadsword Comics, Jim Ballant. I salute you, man. This is awesome. Boobies! Now, I just reposted my Tarot, Witch of the Black Rose tribute video on my second channel, Blugoblin X. Go check that out. I posted it on Jim Ballant's own Facebook page. So, and I busted my ass putting that video together. So please check it out and tell me what you think. But yeah. Now, after seeing the way the art is done in this book, you're probably thinking, how could I possibly praise this and then shit on what Greg Land does? Here's the thing. Jim Ballant knows what sells this book. Greg Land takes that same concept and tries to sell it on classic characters that we don't like being fucked with. This is original stuff from Jim Ballant. Yes, it's mature, but he knows that's the main seller of the book, and I respect him for that. Whereas Greg Land does this shit unoriginal. He traces over other pictures. He photoshops pure smut on fan favorite traditional legendary characters. You see, Jim Ballant does it originally, whereas Greg Land disrespects classic characters. There is a difference, but here it's awesome. Loved it. The Three Little Kittens storyline continues with the whole iRobot ripoff story here. And what is it with Jim Ballant when he writes these stories? There's always that moment where the characters end up getting their clothes ripped off. It's predictably funny, yes, but in here they decide that the robots are gonna do like mandatory strip search, you know, and start tearing the clothes off and everything. Yeah, it's cheekiness, and it's cute, it's fun. Storytelling is really well done. We get a new character stepping in to help the kittens. It kind of looks like a bastardized version of the Iron Patriot. I don't know what the hell his name is. And as for Tarot and her boyfriend, the Skeleton Man, they're in some deep shit too. Tarot doesn't hardly get any mention in this particular issue, but she's in deep shit. Some imps or elves or demons or something like that get a hold of her and her boyfriend. Now, her boyfriend's still under the impression that Tarot is with her because he's blindfolded, whereas Tarot has been flat out taken, and one of them makes a comment saying that she wants to milk the breasts of a witch. Giggity. But this one was fun. This is always a fun issue, and yeah, the art is the main seller, but I do read this shit, and it's fun. It's just simply fun. If you like that kind of shit. Alright, next up, we're going to Marvel. Avengers vs. X-Men 0 issue. Now when it comes, this is the beginning of A versus X. Now, before I review this, I'm going to state right here and now, I am only getting the solid story, the 13 issues, that's including 0 to 12, the simple story. I don't care about one-shots, crossovers, or tie-ins, or any of that shit, unless they're titles that I already have on my pull list, like Wolverine and the X-Men, you know, or stuff like that. But I don't care about any of the other shit. I'm just getting the straight story here. And it begins with, this is a two-story split. It's Scarlet Witch and Hope Summers. Scarlet Witch for the Avengers and Hope for the X-Men. Bendis and Aaron are doing the writing, and Frank Cho is doing the artwork for both stories. Now, Frank Cho's artwork, don't get me wrong, it's okay, but it just reminds me of all. It just this style of artwork just reminds me of the designs of the Marvel superheroes that you would see like on the placemats or on the calendars at a supermarket or something, or a design on a on a backboard for action figures or something. It just looks so commercial to me. I don't know how I can explain it any better. It's okay, but I've seen a hell of a lot better. The Scarlet Witch story is just flat out depressing. It's depressing, very depressing, and I wonder if some of the younger, newer, casual readers remember about Vision and Scarlet Witch, being married, because Vision comes across Wanda and says, "Hey, everybody, butt out! I'm talking to my wife," and I was like, "Ooh." And what Vision says to her, a part of me can't blame him, but a part of me is thinking, part of me is agreeing with Ms. Marvel. I'm like, come on, take it easy. But it's just depressing. Now, the story with Hope, not quite as depressing. It's been previewed to death in the other Marvel comic books, but it's a fun story. Very well done. Hope decides that she's going to go venture out on her own, and we really see how well she can use her powers in this fight against the Serpent Gang. I believe that's what they call themselves. Shit, I done forgot. It's a villain group that I don't follow that well, but she uses her powers and she uses them damn well. And it's already been stated that Hope is possibly going to be the new host for the Phoenix Force, and Hope believes she's ready. And I guess Scott wants her to be ready for it too, because Scott still believes that she's the savior of mutant kind, but it still doesn't change the fact that I think Scott is a dick. But this was a nice beginning to Avengers vs. X-Men. Part depressing, part fun. There you go. Alright, next up, X-Men Legacy 264. Oof. Let me tell you something. I never thought I'd say this, but this came pretty damn close to being the pick of the week this week. An issue of X-Men Legacy nearly made pick of the week. Wow. This was really, really good. Christos Gage. Wow. I didn't really think he could save this series, but man, has he. Weapon Omega is become a bomb because of him and the Mimic, an old school character from the old days, has come back to the school grounds. After a deep conversation about Rogue's supposed loyalties, where does her loyalty stand, and everything like that. But the Mimic and Weapon Omega show up, and it turns out Omega has been tainted by using his power to absorb mutant powers from mutants near him. It's kind of similar to Rogue and kind of similar to Hope, but he absorbed mutant powers from someone who's not a mutant in the Mimic, and it's poisoned him. It's basically made him a bomb, and Beast and all the other people on the school ground are trying to think of a way to save him, because it's going to kill him. It's going to blow him up. He's basically a bomb, and Rogue and Mimic think of a pretty ballsy and risky maneuver to try and save him. And does it work? No, it doesn't. But ooh, the cliffhanger at the end, god damn it, this was good. I'm not going to give anything else away, but this was really, really good. I didn't think I could praise an issue of X-Men Legacy like this, but wow, something beat it out, and I'll get to that at the end. But yeah, if you're an X-Men fan, get this issue. It's good. That's just my opinion. We're moving on to DC. We're going to go on to Batman The Dark Knight #7, The Final Fight with Bane. Yeah, for now. David Finch, loved the artwork. Paul Jenkins, loved the writing. This was good. This was really good. Batman has to not only outthink Bane because remember this new derivative of the Venom symbiote, Venom solution now makes Bane more intelligent, and that's a really, really compelling twist to the character, and I like it. It's really good. Love the dialogue. I love the tension. The tension is like, how is Batman gonna win this one? You know, Batman's always able to outthink his villains for the most part, and I was just like, ooh, how's he gonna win this one? Because I don't know if he will or not. And it's really, really well done. And he finds Poison Ivy, and he saves Ivy, but she's obviously wanting vengeance for what she's been through. But Batman, said, don't worry about it. Just go back to the Birds of Prey, and I'll take care of this. So there you go. And the fight with Bane is damn tense, damn chilling. I loved it, and I loved how he was able to take Bane down, and he had a little help from Ivy, just a little help. And loved the scene with the Flash was good. It was short, it was simple. I liked it. And the Flash ends up saving Batman's ass from damn near being broken again. And at the end of the book, we find out the identity of the White Rabbit. Now, I'm not going to give that away, but let me tell you, the reveal was pretty to me. It was like that. I'm like, what the hell is this? But what I will reveal is that the White Rabbit is one of those characters who can literally be in two places at once. How's that possible? Just pick this book up and check it out. If you're already on board with the series, then you probably know where I'm going with this. But this was really good, very, very nicely done. Moving along, we're going to Superman number 7. Get a look at this new villain, Hellspawn. I already mentioned this on my Twitter account that he looks like the bastard stepbrother of Ghost Rider. Okay, we got a new creative team in here. George Perez has left the book, and we got Dan Jurgens and Keith Giffen on here with finishing touches on the artwork by Jesus Marino. Okay, I'm still feeling the same way I've been feeling about this series. I'm still sticking to my promise. I'm sticking with this series until issue 10. And if by then I'm not thoroughly impressed enough, I will drop this series because this is still just okay to me. The best thing in this book was the scene with Clark, Jimmy, Perry, and Lois in the Daily Planet. It's like Jimmy's like, Clark, I need to crash at your place. And Lois is like, I need you to pick up my sister. Yeah, sure. And Perry's like, come on, stay focused on your work with the Superman article. Yeah. And they'd be like, and everybody's like, thanks, Clark, you're a pal. And he's like, what just happened? That was the best part of the book for me, and that's kind of sad. But this new, I will give credit on. That's the one thing I will give this Superman series credit on. It makes Clark Kent look more human. And I do like that. I will admit, I do like that. But the rest of this book was just okay for me. It was like, it's not terrible, but then again, it's not really that great. I mean, and I get to see for the first time how Clark turns into Superman. It's almost like a Power Ranger-ish type of changing. He takes off his shirt and glasses, and all of a sudden says he activates his Kryptonian biotech, and he's like, his suit generates on him. I'm like, what the hell is this? Superman's a Power Ranger. But yeah, the fight in the beginning was alright, and the stuff with Clark and the Daily Planet, that was really good, and the end of the book was just kind of there. This issue just ended up being just okay, and it ends on a not so compelling cliffhanger to me. I mean, come on, DC. This is Superman. You can do better than this. I know I'm probably asking for too much, but come on, it's Superman. It was just okay. All right, Fury of Firestorm, the Nuclear Men, number 7. Gail Simone is no longer writing this, and I already miss her. Insert Gail Simone fanboy love joke right now. Ethan Van Sciver and Joe Harris are now on this. Joe Harris is the writer now with Ethan Van Sciver on artwork and is a co-plotter. Yeah, this... Don't get me wrong, Gail Simone's not writing it anymore, and it's easy to tell, but this was still pretty good. The one thing that I did not like about this issue is that it had a shitload of dialogue. And that's usually a pet peeve of mine when I'm reading a comic book. If the pages are like 60% word bubbles, then it just kills it. It almost kills any fun I have reading the book. It almost makes the reading seem more like a job than a hobby. And that's just one of my pet peeves here. A nice interrogation scene with Ronnie and everything. Some nice storytelling on the side of Jason and everything. It's just... I gotta give the same verdict to this that I gave to Superman. This was okay. I mean, it's... What really hurt it was the overuse of dialogue. And I can easily tell the difference between Joe Harris's writing and Gail Simone's writing. Yes, Gail Simone has been known to do some slight overuse of dialogue from time to time, but when Gail Simone writes a book, especially a book like this, or a book as awesome as Secret Six used to be, it's like even when there was slight overuse of dialogue, he still kept you wrapped up in the storytelling. But this was okay. I mean, it was it was okay, and then I got to the cliffhanger, and I went, okay, this went from okay to not bad. I mean, it was actually pretty good. Just, in my opinion, it could have been a lot better if not for the extreme dialogue. Alright, moving along. Green Lantern New Guardians number 7. Oh boy, now this was very impressive. We get almost a complete backstory on the history of Invictus, and he comes up. At first, I thought he was like some godly villainous character, and then I read this, and I'm like, well, okay, now he seems more tragic. And we figure out who the real mastermind behind this, this whole siege of the New Guardians is, and it's none other than Larfleeze. Big shock. But wow, Tony Bedard did a really good job with writing this. I was very impressed. This actually went above my expectations after I read it, and I was thoroughly entertained. I was thoroughly enraptured with the great storytelling. Saint Walker has a really nice role in here, and I had a pretty jaw-dropping moment here with Arkilla because of something that he almost said about Saint Walker, of all people. Woo! Yeah. I'm not going to give away the ending. The ending, based on how the storytelling has been going so far, it fits. It makes sense, but I'm not going to give it away. It's another one of those. It's a kind of a dun 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 kind of cliffhanger, and Tony Bedard and Tyler Kirkham, they did a really great job with this. Kyle Rayner's character has been taken a step up in my opinion as well. Very nice. I enjoyed that. Moving along. Aquaman number 7. The Secret of the Others. Well, I'm sure I haven't looked it up yet, but I'm sure there's plenty of other reviewers all over the internet who are saying that this was simply just magnificent, truly awesome. I can't say that. The best thing about this is Black Manta and what he does. Oh boy, nice. But the rest of the book was pretty good. once again, this is another one of those times where the beginning of the book was a hell of a lot better than the ending of the book. But this is Jeff Johns we're talking about, and I'm starting to see what everybody's talking about. Where not everything Jeff Johns writes is going to be pure gold, and I can certainly understand that now, because the last issue of Justice League really pissed me off. Whereas this left me wanting to. This issue here, it was really good for the most part, but the main thing I cared about was the stuff with Black Manta. I want more Black Manta in this Aquaman series. I'm sure, and I'm hoping that they don't waste any time and go straight to a possibly epic showdown between Aquaman and Black Manta as soon as they get done with this other's story. But for the most part, it was good. We get a nice reveal about what happened, and we get a nicely short confession from Arthur about what he did with the whole trench monsters and everything. He just flat out said, "I killed them." That was pretty badass. But, you know, yeah, just go with what I said here, and just let me just say that the beginning of the book was much better than the ending, but it was still pretty good. Alright, pick of the week time, and it goes to The Flash #7. Wow. Now, clearly, I read XMen Legacy before I read this, and had I missed out on this book this week, XMen Legacy would have got pick of the week. But then I read this. Holy shit, this was good. Flash gets a little desperate when he's... No, fuck that. He really gets desperate on how to defeat Captain Cold and avoid getting killed and everything. He doesn't pay attention to the signal that he invented that reminds him on how to, watch how much he's using his speed, because he accidentally creates another wormhole, and we do suffer a huge loss in this book. And when I saw who we lost in this book, a little part of the Flash fanboy in me got a little pissed off. Because I almost want to think that DC almost wanted that to be a mandatory loss, because they're really wanting to push a certain other person close to the Flash. I know I probably might have given too much of a hint on what happened here, but Flash realizes what he did wrong according to Captain Cold, and he does his best to help out, and he uses the new cosmic treadmill for the first time, but it leads up to another one of those kind of dun 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 kind of cliffhangers with a new character. I believe it called him Turbine. I want to see if I think I remember they call him Turbine, and this is still steadily going in the right direction. I mean, Francis Manapul is just knocking it out of the park with this series. This is so much better than anything Jeff Johns ever did for the Flash. Pardon me. Iced tea. Always a delight. But yeah, just a bitchin' series and a nice, really, really nice issue, and I couldn't get enough of it. It's really, really good. Do yourselves a favor. Get this book. Well, that's all I got, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and please go by my second channel, Blugoblin X, and subscribe to that channel as well. Like I said at the beginning, I just finished up my tarot tribute. It took a lot of work to get that done, and I'm glad it's finally up. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter and on Tumblr. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and until next time, I'll see you later.